more structured system, admittedly, but he's still been able to hang on to that style that he likes to employ. Just going in, taking aggressive fight, taking opening duels, and it's been working really well for SkinRave. He has been, a boon for them. And you look at it, yes, Cryptic is the one as the IGL. He likes to take opening space. He likes to try and look for fights, and he's actually got a pretty good rating, 1.13 rating in opening duels with 46.2% success, a little lower, but because he takes so many attempts, it's expected to be lower. But after that, it's laxiee. 21.4% attempts and a 51.2% success rate. So definitely, he's playing off Cryptic really well, and I'm excited to see how this is going to go as we are finally jumping into the action.
Well, here we are. We can start on the pistol round. SkinRave on the CT side. Marky at ticket booth, taking taps, not taking any heads off yet. Solo A player. SkinRave going for the retake A setup. And there is a kit on laxiee as well to facilitate that move. As the bomb goes down, 5 versus 5 hold. No overextension from the Evoca side of things. So they're going to hold their line, wait for the CTs to make their move, close the gap a little bit up tight like Shane. But Junior gets the opening. Keep an eye on Walco coming back towards the ramp as well as Cryptic adds another. Kills coming back and forth. laxiee with him one more as Carson only able to find one. laxiee smoke down on the bomb. Snav doubles up. Dia up and Palace sent down by Walco. Kit salvaged for Junior. And enough time to get that defuse. A chaotic ending to the 5 versus 5 retake. But SkinRave get it on the board. Round 2 more important now thanks to the bomb plant.
Yeah, no, very nicely done from SkinRave at the very least to retake that bomb site. Entirely a retake setup as soon as that as soon as Voca goes in for that bomb plant. But yeah, sorry, I'm calling them Voca. Technically, still getting info for Challenger League purposes, but are known as Voca outside of it. Either works. Might be switching between the two here, but
Voca's also shorter.
It is, yes, and I think it's honestly better that they switch to that because getting info is something that we use when we're talking about the match a lot as well. Either way, it was a nice play to get the space, and they almost hang on to the site towards the tail end thanks to Snav's efforts, but it is going to be SkinRave who reign supreme. Dia going to get this Molotov ready to throw towards Cat. I imagine it's going to be tossed soon. Oh my goodness, Carson and Shane simultaneously sneak up towards the A site. They drop 2, and it will be a 5v3, but laxiee, we talked about his explosiveness. He pulls it back. 3K for him. Snap the trade down to a 2v2, but this is laxiee that has made this a round.
Ace man at winnable, and Walco can make it more so. Carson stuck in limbo between a couple of different angles, peeks into CT, spots his man. Nade goes out for Walco, doesn't do any damage, and he does not spot Snav slipping away. That's a critical piece of information not there, and Junior gets mowed down by Carson. Walco, time ticking down, drops a smoke. Oh, actually, no, that's Snav who drops the smoke on the bomb to allow him to cross. Walco's going to jump up. Snav's using this smoke brilliantly, and Walco's making the noise. His game is up. It's only a matter of time before he falls, whether to elimination or to the bomb, and it's Carson who comes through CT to finish him off. What an explosion on the A site, though, by the T's. laxiee tries to be the hero, but unfortunately, the captain has to go down with the ship in that instance. He's not able to save the day. And so, we're tied up at 1, and the money situation swings back heavily in the favor of getting info.
Oh, it does. 2 AKs, the M4 from the previous round, a couple of Galils here for getting info. On the side of SkinRave, we got the MP9, the 357s, and the Scout. They're going for the force buy, but as we expected in this matchup, already back and forth, pistol round didn't mean anything for SkinRave, as there was an immediate response on the side of getting info. Carson's having a peek down. Cat gets tagged, but he does damage to Junior as well, so that's a pretty even duel at the end of it, and Junior does not want to have another peek. Control taken of mid here by getting info.
They can take advantage of their range advantage with the rifles over the pistols by taking over mid. The only problem is once they explode on a site, they can very easily get caught by the close range holds of 5.7s and the MP9. An MP9, though, holding in for a window boost, so interesting spot to play that out towards middle. The bomb's still in T-spawn, though, getting info or Voca. Plenty of time to do whatever they want. There's still about a minute to go in this round. Marky and Palace as well might just discover something as he's moving through, but there is Shane there to try and shut him down. Doing a lot of damage, just not quite getting the kill, and Might signal an extra rotation here. It's a pistol round, forced by. Why not take a bit of an extra gamble? The smoke should surely get an extra rotation moving over as the smoke wall comes down. Junior's off or scout rather, is here, and he gets nothing to finish the job. Carson able to get revenge, and he'll charge in, and he had another as Marky's put down from his low HP. Smoke's out to CT now, spray's going through, the bomb can go down, but laxiee at least good for one, and he's only good for one here. Slump able to finish the rest of the two off, and so 2 in a row to start this one off for Getting Info now after losing the initial pistol round. And this will be a save for SkinRave. Maybe a P250, a Deagle, but overall, should be a pretty free round for Getting Info to grab on this T side of their map pick.
Yeah, very likely the case. A couple of AKs, the M4, the MAC-10, and the Galil for Getting Info, but there's bits and pieces for SkinRave. 2 Deagles, that's it. Those are the bits and pieces. No utility, no armor, and now they're trying to boost up over this smoke. This round, for all intents and purposes, should be over. 1:32 on the clock. There is the Molotov and the spam, and yeah, there we go. Dia and Carson connecting on a couple of frags. 5v3 just like that, and SkinRave predictably falling by the wayside.
A Molly kill comes through as well, and Carson will get a third on the MAC-10, so 1800 to the SMG. A fiery start for him. As many kills as the rest of his team combined, which I think is a good start to the Mad Dog, if you want to call him that. You know, I feel like Carson needs a nickname.
Yeah, maybe. He certainly is
for Walco.
Wild. Yeah. What's that?
We got a FAMAS out for Walco.
Oh. Yeah, that's what he could afford. Well, to get the utility as well, right? And someone needed it, so he sacrifices the gun for the util. I don't know. It's been pretty good for Getting Info since that second round where they forced up and were successful, and haven't seen much from SkinRave and Mirage, so it's been a little flat. Let's see if they get this round. All right, Marky the first, Marky not the second. He runs out of bullets, and Snav will be able to capitalize on that. Junior looking to get on the action, and finally will. There's 1-2, pulls out the pistol as he runs out of bullets in the magazine to try and get that third, but Snav will manage to get into cover. The thing is, it's a 2-man advantage for SkinRave.
That's a big problem here for Getting Info right now, and Carson going down. He was the high HP player of the pair. His teammate falls in quick succession, and that will mean SkinRave back on the board, and even more important, they get 4 alive out of that round. So they keep their money up. It's going to be good for the CT economy, build the confidence too. And despite a little bit of chaos there, Marky only able to get 1, Junior having to swap over to the sidearm after his first kill as well. They still get the job done and do it quite well. So good work for SkinRave back in the win column. But the op is now out for Dia, and this could be a game changer here for Volca. Love to see what he can do on the T side of things. A boost over towards middle takes a little bit of damage, him and Snav, due to utility out mid.
Yeah.
And no opening picks being given over. SkinRave don't have the sniper, so they're not going to go for a fight like that. And Slump. This could create some space.
Yeah, Slump. Looking up into window. Carson is as well. They're watching each side. Slump's watching if anyone's going to come from ladder, and Carson from the opposite direction at jungle. But, you know, you see that SkinRave are just holding their ground. 2 players outside connector, 1 inside of it, of course. That's Cryptic, and the smoke's going to bloom. Thrown by his teammates, so they get visibility over the top side. Into cat, should they want it. Molotov forward. Cryptic's fine. They did not molly close enough. This is going to be a freebie for him. There you go. 1 down. That's Carson. I think that was the bomb, too. Not a great look here for the side of Getting Info. laxiee will take care of Dia. Shane, the last one available in a 4v1. Not much he can do. He does get 1 while blinded, but Walco will end it.
Walco ends it. And we're tied at 3 now as SkinRave looking strong with the guns out. Look at the op for Junior without having to invest into it. It's a donation from their enemies. And speaking of donation, Dia might need one as he has the least amount of money out of anybody on his squad. He'll just be relegated to a Mac 10 instead. The utility is there, kind of. There's an okay amount of flashbangs. That's the main thing. I think a fast pop might be on the cards here for getting info once they get into position for it. Carson out middle as well, trying to rely on him to create some space. Has a smoke to throw towards A. Definitely does seem to be an A end here as more smokes go out. The flashes, though. The flashes have to be huge, allowing for these entries. Junior's here with the op. Flash goes out. Slump's able to slip on through, but Junior re-peeks, gets one on the op. Slump closing the gap. Lines up 2, but gets nothing for his trouble. Marky goes up on the stairs looking for his second of the round and gets shut down by Shane. 4 versus 3. SkinRave still holding the situation as the bomb is dropped forward, too, in a very awkward spot. The onus is now on getting info to try and retake that, but it's firmly in the possession of Cryptic. Despite his low health, he should at least be good for a one and done.
Perhaps. Junior's also low, but that's with the op, so it's fine. You know, you can pop out with the op and get a shot off before the health matters. Cryptic, as you mentioned, waiting for contact, 43 seconds, and there you go. Exactly like that. Junior, around the corner from Ticket, gets Shane. Cryptic is, in fact, good for one. You're absolutely right. And then Walco will get the last onto Snav. SkinRave strike back and retake the lead.
Yeah, it might have been a bit tough against the aggressive pushes of getting info on round 2, and then they weren't really favored to win round 3 or 4, but once the firepower has been equivalent, it's been very strong for SkinRave. The individuals are looking quite good, and their positioning as well. Cryptic was backed up by Walco. He was right there for the trade, even if Cryptic does go down early. Just be there for the second kill as well. They keep the players up when they're winning these CT rounds. The economy, aside from Marky, starting to look pretty strong. Back to the pistols, a Deagle trio, a Glock, and a Tech 9. Now, just a Deagle duo. Glock and a Tech 9 for Volca, as this isn't a round where they should be getting too much damage out of it unless a couple heads get popped by the hand cannons. But SkinRave should be learning pretty quickly what's going on, and Junior's not going to miss an op shot like that on a wide swing. So it's just a matter of time before we get into round number 9 and see the SkinRave lead extend to 2.
Snav, he's usually good for one with the Deagle. Well, not this time. And the round is done. SkinRave 5, Getting Info 3. The Getting Info squad will have the guns back out here, I imagine. I don't see them buying up yet. Maybe they want to call a timeout. No, they're just a little delayed on the buy. No, actually they did. I was right. My first instinct was correct. Timeout is called. I'm not sure if this is technical or tactical in nature, but I believe it's tactical because we got the hourglass up top.
I'm going to agree with you, and it's a good time for a tactical timeout as well. You have guns. You could talk things over before it gets really out of hand in this half. Yes, it is a good map for you on both sides if you are getting info. You have yourselves a solid 60+% win rate on either side of the map. But do you want to give confidence to SkinRave? That's the better question. SkinRave's CT side at a 34.6, 35.4% on the T side. So you can't really expect much out of them statistically. They're already overperforming, and that's the major problem for getting info right now.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, look, SkinRave looking strong now in terms of their CT side based upon those stats, like you mentioned. It's a good trend. I think there might be concerns once they go to T side, but sometimes, you know, in a vacuum, you ignore the stats. If a team's performing really well, it won't matter. You know, they've just got that rhythm going, especially if they can have a strong finish to this half. We'll see if it happens. And already a great start to this round. Carson eliminated. We talked about it. Likes to go for early fights, and Junior just shuts Snav down right in his tracks. Slump has managed to maneuver towards the B side. So has Shane. B side cracked open while all that was happening towards mid, and now SkinRave are scrambling to get a response.
It was played well by the SkinRave players, but laxiee, 2 quick headshots, looks for the third, doesn't quite find it, but he's given his team a window back into this B site, single-handedly can opening it over and leaving Dia in a 1 versus 2, but Dia takes another fight, wins it against Cryptic, all up to Marquee now, peeks into the angle, and Dia says, what you do, laxiee, I do for the win, and takes it back for getting info. laxiee's been good in the multis, but he hasn't been able to close out the rounds. Unluckily for him, getting info have been able to clean it up.
That's a 1v3.
Yep.
Dia really
1v1s.
Yeah. Dia really stepping up to the plate, isolating the 1v1s well. And SkinRave let that one completely slip through their fingertips. Flashbang gonna get tossed here by Carson. He's got the Molotov ready. Maybe standing up with that Molotov in his hands a little too long, because if there's mid-aggression, you're in trouble. But luckily for him, that wasn't the case. Nice nade toss by SkinRave. Takes Shane down to 67 as he's just poking and prodding around these B apartments. He's got the bomb by his side, so you feel like it'll probably be a B finish. They are going to throw their smokes for mid and connector anyway. Trying to focus the attention in that direction instead of their actual destination, which appears to be B.
That contact works for 1 as Carson caught out again. Walco having to defend B, gets some help and gets the first. Slump out for the trade. laxiee helping to bolster the firepower on this B side defense. Will spot the legs of Slump spray away, deny the plant, and at least get 1 more as rotations fly on through.
Wow.
He dumps onto Slump, and that will leave Dia in a 1 versus 3 with no bomb and minimal chance at this round. And SkinRave have to know now they don't need to push. They have the angles, they have it all to lose. And Junior will not miss. Great stuff from them to respond, isolating the getting info round. And laxiee has been incredible to kick off this map.
Yeah, it's really something else. laxiee is stepping up in such a big way and finally able to help close out a round, right? Because his previous performances were in rounds where they unfortunately let it slip away, but this time he's good for it. And now a 6-4 lead for SkinRave, so back and forth we go. I think it might be more fourth towards SkinRave, because this round will not feature much of an investment on the getting info side. 3 Deagles, the Tech 9. And I don't know what Dia has. Okay, Glock. That's not great.
Nope.
But Walco's info hopping as well. He's got the nade ready. He's anchoring down this B side as he is apt to do. Nade gets tossed and not much damage at all.
Glances the wrong way. Unlucky. And laxiee's only able to get 1 out mid as the Eagle beheads him. Walco doubles down onto the apps players though, and it should be a minimal casualty round here for SkinRave. And it will. Only 1 again. That's one thing, again, that has been really good about a lot of these CT rounds for SkinRave. They only lose 1, maybe 2 people in these victories. Whether it's guns or not, they've been able to minimize their casualties really well. And that's helped them to keep being able to buy utility, rifles, and everything, even as we get into the last round of the first half here with a potential 8-4 lead going into the T side, too. SkinRave looking like they haven't missed a beat after not having a single match to play leading up to this matchup.
I mean, everyone could buy an op if they wanted to. The economy the way it is. So yeah, it's been really, really nice for SkinRave. All right, that's not great for Snav. Dips his toes into that fire and pays the price down to 78 HP. Maybe hoping to draw out a peak. But as it stands, nothing happening, so no targets for Dia. And you see laxiee along with, I believe, Junior there. No, not Junior. laxiee and Marky waiting on top of balcony. Not going to be expected, I would say, if they hold that spot. But in the end, Marky's like, I don't like this. I'm going to fall off towards the site. And it was probably a good decision because laxiee does get 1, but the fire burns him alive. And Marky would have been just dancing around in that fire, trying to survive the whole time. Instead, now he's dropping bodies along with Cryptic. Dia and Carson, last 2 standing. SkinRave looking for an 8-4 lead at the end of this first half of play.
And Junior should be giving him 1 more kill to find. Lands that one, and Dia 11 HP rather. not long for this world. This is a cleanup job for SkinRave as we head into the second half.
All right, we go into the second half of action, and SkinRave surprisingly and up 8-4 on the pick of getting info. I didn't expect them to have that great of a performance on their CT side. Although getting info were involved in the majority of the rounds, it just felt like SkinRave were rebuffing them at every single turn in the last three.
Yeah, no, SkinRave were doing everything right. They had players in position for trades. laxiee and others were winning multiple duels at once, and the rotations were well timed. SkinRave swallowed up all the free space, never really let getting info any room to move, as SkinRave explode onto the A site, retake A, this time played by getting info, as they'll back away, but the T push from SkinRave far more aggressive than what we saw from their opposition in the first half, Pistol. And it's very hinged on jungle here, too, as 3 players now moving over in that direction. There is the kit for Carson. Smoke out, Ninja Diffuse play is available. But the first duel popped by Junior. Great shot with the P250. Slump able to respond with one in turn. But again, the bomb planted for these players towards jungle's side. The smoke is down. Carson's on it. The spam gets him.
Wow.
That should sink the chances. DA able to get one more before he falls. But in the smoke, the Ninja so close. And yet discovered by Junior, putting SkinRave up by 5. Both pistol rounds for them, too.
Yeah,
This might be a necessary force for getting info.
that's a massive play from Junior, right? Like, if that defusal goes through, then they're going to be in a little more world of hurt. You're going to get a little more momentum for getting info. Instead, now They opt for an eco. You probably have a 10th under your belts. It's an entirely different story. Well done from Junior. He really has been incredible, as is usually the case here for this SkinRave squad. Doing it with the rifles, the op, whatever you put in his hands, it's leading to frags. And laxiee just has these explosive moments, right? Like the frags come in bunches for laxiee. It's not one; it's always more than that. 2 or 3 that come all at once. Round number 14 now, and looks like SkinRave want to go fast again. They are not going for the slow approach at all. They want to take the fights and overwhelm this Getting Info squad.
Bomb already going down. Marky with one on the MAC-10. Deagle, USPs on the other side. It's just looking for damage if you are getting info, and the damage they might find is probably going against them, not being able to be put forth onto SkinRave as 2 more kills come through. All down to Dia and Carson now, just delaying the inevitable, looking for a kill with that Desert Eagle. And Dia might just tuck tail and run here. He's diving back, looking for a long-range exit, which isn't a terrible idea, except for the fact that most of SkinRave are about to exit safely through ramp, instead of crossing into potential areas for a bloodbath. Marky into CT. He's only got the MAC-10. All the guns are huddled together. Good way to keep those up and out of enemy hands. And Carson ends up falling to the bomb anyway. So with only 3 more rounds before stealing their opponent's map pick, SkinRave are about to get their first test of their T side. And I don't know, speed's been working for them. I'm kind of scared for getting info here, who might just get overwhelmed by a SkinRave offensive.
Potentially so. And in fact, looking at it, these 2 cores, the current ones anyway, have not played Mirage yet. This is the first time I just realized that they've been on this map. They played Dust2 twice, Nuke, Overpass, and Ancient. And of course, we are going to Dust2 next. And here's that overpowering play that's coming through here from SkinRave, potentially, that you were talking about, Austin. 5v4 in favor of SkinRave, slumped down immediately. There goes Carson as well. SkinRave are not taking their foot off the gas pedal. They are full speed ahead without any hesitation.
All gas, no brakes, and it's working wonders for SkinRave right now. The individuals are firing on all cylinders. Every individual is having impact. What do you do now if you are getting info? The bomb's still in limbo. Might give a window back to getting info. laxiee, I don't believe he's been spotted by Dia. Now he's going to be in. He'll lose that duel. It's a good win back for Dia. With Walko and Cryptic low, there is a retake possibility, but Marky might just put a pin in that. Although the last 2 players are here on B. The peak. It works for 1. No trade back either. And Snap finds Marky coming up. Cat, this might just work, John. As in comes Cryptic. He falls down. Junior, the last alive, booking it to A in a 1 versus 2. But SkinRave walk right into the waiting jaws of the beast. And they are punished.
Look, this round's not over, but just critically here, I think SkinRave should have just fallen back when it was a 3v2. And Junior is going to win that fight up against Snap. He's only 10 HP. Shane at 46. We'll talk about it after. Junior going back towards the ramp. Tucking in here. Is there any util for Shane? Only a flashbang. Does he have the kit? No. So Junior just has to bide his time.
Such a wide open plant, too.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Shane knows that he can't get this defusal. He can't hold it. He's going to try. Oh, no, pulls off it now. Round's over. Junior's got it one way or another, and he ends it with the frag. Shane will fall. So Junior, fantastic play. Great 1v2, goes to the A site. But what should have happened is as soon as you lose a body on B, you rotate, like it was a 4v2. The last one, it was a 3v2. Go A. You don't have to worry. If you're facing resistance in one direction, go to the other side because there's only one other player that you don't know about. So worst case, you walk into that A site, you have a 3v1, whereas you don't know what's happening. Whereas you know, that one player's on B. So at the most, there'll be one towards the A site. Anyway, look, whatever the case may be, they don't decide to rotate over. But Junior still wins the round. 11-4 for SkinRave.
I'm glad you went into that push onto the B side because it needed to be discussed.
Yeah.
It was a lapse in judgment, and I think it might have been a bit of an ego call. You know, we're winning all our duels, so we might as well just go push them where they are. It doesn't really matter. We're going to win it anyway. And to put Junior into a pretty tight spot, but he played it excellently.
Oh, he's been amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Textbook work from Junior.
It just shouldn't have come down to that, I guess is my point, right? Because, and even if you could argue, well, we wanted to see where that second player was, you found out it was a 2v2, and then you still kept fighting. Like, you didn't have to do that. Anyway, it is what it is, right? 1 minute left on the clock. SkinRave, lucky for them, they can take that lesson and the victory.
It's a gamble stack A from the CT side. Finally going to shift Dia over towards B. And SkinRave are playing this so passively, they might just give it all up themselves. And I like how Dia's playing in that smoke. It's been heard, and laxiee will get him just running and gunning with the AK. Unlucky for Dia. He played that about as best as he could after making the drop sound. Bomb's going to go down now. The timer will begin its countdown. And the retake appears to be on. It's a half buy from getting info, so they can't afford to go for it. But the Molotov forcing them out. And Cryptic lurking over towards Khan. Might be able to get a couple of kills here. Maybe even just one, although he doesn't really need to stick around. There's no financial gain for getting these kills, realistically speaking. All it does is put your life in jeopardy here.
I agree. Nothing really worth chasing down. They gain more by finding you than you gain by finding them. Like, AKs can be picked up off the ground and just leave them with their pistols, you know? Don't worry about it. They want to save them, go for it. That's the mentality you got to have in these situations. As SkinRave will be up 12-4. 8 opportunities to close this one out. I didn't expect it to be this one-sided. Maybe Getting Info still have something to say about it, but they appear to be having an off day.
Yeah, either way, they're going to have to fix things when we get into our next map, because that might be their last chance in the upper bracket. Dust2, a map that heavily favors SkinRave. Not exactly the worst map, it's not the best map for Getting Info. And the way Junior's been playing, I do not want to face his op on Dust2.
No, yeah.
It sounds like a very unfun time.
I would say so. Dia's strong too, maybe not having the best of times with the AWP in this one. Misses that shot, and that is a huge problem. Great Molotov tossed at Carson's feet. Somehow, whoa, Snav gets that frag, and then Carson stays alive long enough to get laxiee, so a 4v3 for Getting Info. It's not great because they don't have much forward positioning on this A site, and now more smokes and utility are going to rain on forward from SkinRave. So they got the nade out. More damage against Snav. He's down to 34 HP. Walco, oh, that could be the killing blow for Snav. It is 3v3 now. I don't know if SkinRave's aware of the fact that all 3 players are CT, though.
They're definitely not. They're wary of a flank here. Walco checking his backside towards T-Con. Marky now watching jungle, has Junior there with him. Slump drops the bomb. That was Walco carrying him. Dia's on the angle Marky's playing. He's going to have to rely on Junior to create some space with the AK. Junior, though, dropped by Slump. Dia strikes. And Getting Info stay alive. 7 rounds now separating them in overtime. And SkinRave, I think right now, John, just don't know when to bail.
Yeah.
Because they had multiple opportunities to get out of Dodge on that site.
And the thing is, like, when you're in that position and you know that there could be an op towards CT, and you have 2 players that are near jungle, you could just go down into underpass and head to the B site. You know, it just feels like they're really hesitant to, like you said, pull off the sites and rotate around. They just feel like they have to commit to it sometimes, and that wasn't the case there. Still, I mean, they've obviously been the better team. They're up 12-5, so we don't have to criticize them too much, but definitely, you know, in those moments, there's a little bit of refinement that's required. Anyway, Snav looking to make the adjustment. He's the one charging up mid. Usually Carson's the one taking up this mantle, but Snav is good for 1 before he is traded by laxiee. So a 4v4, usually those types of trades more beneficial to the T side than CT. Walco moves his way through underpass, staring up at window. 2 players collapsing down cat for Getting Info. If they lose one, oh, Walco, did he not see the gun? Now he did. Oh, but he whiffs the shots.
Molly might do something.
Maybe. That's too deep.
Too deep. That's a good spray from laxiee, though. Takes out one. Do they expect the second? Now they know Shane's up here on Catwalk. Junior
Nice
faces with the op, wins that duel. Nice shot indeed, leaving it up to a split defense here. One jungle side, one on site. Dia trying to do something with the op, backs out of Murder Hole, avoiding his death, as it's all up to Carson right now to Stonewall defense, but he peeks out into Junior. laxiee was distracting him, and that's an easy kill for Junior, putting Dia in a nigh unwinnable 1 versus 3. Bomb down, ticking away. Molotov will force Marquee back, but not into the open. And laxiee's able to just whack-a-mole his way up. Spotted and removed. Whoa. There's one. I like how Junior doesn't shoot there, though. He bides his time knowing where Dia has to go, and instead of just taking the quick reaction of the initial shot, he waits until he can position for the finishing blow. That's a veteran play by Junior to seal off the map.
From a veteran player, you know, Junior's been around, and like we call him a veteran player, but he's actually not even...
That made the biggest difference to me. He was out positioning and out playing from that regard, not just hitting his shots. He was giving himself easy shots to hit, which was the more important factor.
No, I agree with you. I mean, his movement, everything, you know, game sense was right on point, especially in that 1v2 that he had to clutch out because his teammates just kept on taking the fights. Meanwhile, he's rotating over to the A site, making the correct call. And not only does he do that, but then he isolates the 1v1s very, very effectively afterwards. Anyway, that's in the past. Now we move forward into the future. Dust2 is on the cards, and SkinRave, along with getting info, are getting started with the pistol round.
Dia's getting aggressive, trying to boost his impact in the server. Getting a lot of information up on the catwalk push. Doesn't see anybody yet, and has to be careful not to get cut off as it's Junior who gets the opening. Marky dinks down Dia, who takes a couple of taps, but he'll have to fade away into obscurity for now. Drops on down as mid is firmly in the control of SkinRave. Whether they go A or B, still up to them. They do have a smoke and a flashbang to work with as well. P250 for Junior, though, definitely a deadly thing to duel against at range. And Slump's dual Berettas are not near the A site. So it's going to come down to Dia. Tops down 2. That is beautiful stuff from him. Shane with one more onto the lurk. But things are still a problem. Slump coming up. The dualies finally land. And Junior 1v3. Is it to be? He knows where 1 is. The bomb, though, so far forward. It's going to be almost impossible for him to recover without 2 swift taps. 30 seconds. Can he do it? Nobody's facing. Nobody needs to face. Junior has to force. And there he's finally spotted 1 and done. Well done from getting info.
Yeah, they finally get a pistol round, their first of the series, and I mean it's really Shane and Dia who start that off. Dia with a ridiculous couple of frags. I mean, just hitting the headshots instantly as soon as SkinRave are trying to get their approach towards the A site, which completely rebuffs it. I mean, they can't even get into it to get a plant. They fall back to Cat instead, and by that point, the flank had come in. A lurk found out. The second player gets eventually spammed down by the dualies, and getting info are able to find their first round. So a lead for them. We'll see how long it lasts, though, as SkinRave are not going to opt for a force. But this is something I'm seeing a lot more on Dust2 with the T side, is you go for a scout as a buy-up, and everyone else just upgrades their pistols at most. And, well, Junior's been pretty good with that scout on this map, so want to give it a try. Couple of tags, and you're in business.
Well, Snav is either going to get a nice bit of cash or get a bullet to the face, and it will be the former, not the latter. And maybe a second two. Marky just runs right back out there. Not sure what the plan was with that play. But either way, Snav will get himself $1,200. A Glock kill, though, and no bomb plant, unfortunately. The bomb stuck on Cat, but at least a kill comes through for SkinRave.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that's a bomb plant right there, and they're unable to do it. Nice flashbang toss, but Carson and Slump fight through it, and the round will be over. Yeah, SkinRave letting that one slip to their fingertips, at least in terms of garnering a little more cash in their pocketbooks. It's okay. You still have a scout for Junior, AKs and Galils for everyone else, but it could have been better. Could have been an additional $600. It means AKs for everyone. Maybe Junior goes in a glass cannon. Who knows? But as it stands, oh wait, he wouldn't have enough for glass cannon. I take that back. But maybe Junior could have gotten himself a little more utility. Either way, let's go into round number 3 and see if it matters.
Helmet would have been nice too.
That is true.
And Dia will take his op and strike one down. That's a good start there. And that's kind of what we need to see from him if getting info are going to be doing anything significant in this map. It was just the scout he took out, but winning that duel against Junior has to be a confidence booster for sure. And I don't know, just from the early going, SkinRave look kind of lost on this map right now, John.
It's weird because they're so good on it. And so they played it so many times, but yeah, a little bit rough on the early goings, but they can shake that off quickly. It's still early enough that it won't matter too much if they lose another one here. But laxiee will get that spray down onto Dia. A 4v4. Now he moves back towards his team, who are trying to gain this base up cat. A long fight on the cards. Walco, along with Shane, are likely going to be the ones involved in that. Snav, in the meantime, sees all this util raining in, decides to throw a nice little pop flash. I like that one, but he flashes himself, doesn't time it the way he should have, and that will likely cost him. No, still gets one. Shane falls so that Snav can continue to stay alive and move forward. In fact, he falls back completely and goes into CT. They just want to try for a retake at this stage.
Yeah, they could even fathom a save here. I think if they don't get a pick out of their first bit of contact, a save would not be a bad call, but they're full committing in on this. And Marky, one more for him on the Galil. One up tight, that's Snav. Knows he's coming somewhere in that smoke as the flash goes through. laxiee adds another, and now Snav tries to save. Oh, no. Marky's got him dead to rights here potentially as he's bursting down range. laxiee there to finish the job, but no. Snav's able to put him down. I think Marky's probably close to dead, if not dead. He might be safe in the bottom of the pit. No. Can't save there anymore. And Snav will grab himself an AK, so all that economic damage will go a long way for getting info as SkinRave finally get there first, but they lose 4 players. Not exactly as big of a win as they would have liked.
No, I mean, but at least they're able to get 3 AKs up while one of them saved, of course. Junior back to the scout. In fact, 4. There you go. Money ended up being a little better than I thought it was. Full util as well. And on the other side, of course, getting info are going to be forcing up. They want to try and capitalize on the fact that it came down to a 1v1. Or excuse me, not a 1v1. Down to 1 player left alive on each side. That's a tag from Junior, but it must have been through the wall because Shane's still at 87. Cryptic along with laxiee. Moving down mid, slump a chance to have impact. We haven't seen much from him so far, but there you go. There's one, not the second. Half damage done to laxiee. But he will survive and throw that Molotov towards Cat. As now it's up to SkinRave where they want to go because they have got this mid control.
They're waffling about for now, very spread apart. And still don't seem to have an aim for where they want to walk and end up. The Cat pressure's even falling back, so maybe a mid-B split is the call?
Maybe.
Okay, yeah. I think that's probably what they're going to do here. But they're going to have to make it fast. Smoke goes down, Molotov's out. That just might force the full-on B play instead, as Snav's going to close the gap here. Take the fight around the doors against Junior. As the rest of the team will move out towards B, Junior backs away as well. Upgrades to the AK, but Snav catches him looking the wrong way. Carson at the door, sprays down one. Bodies falling for SkinRave as Carson rotates up to window, slams it shut on laxiee. And Walco, what can he do but die here? Maybe 1 kill if he's lucky. Bomb out in the open, time running out. 1 for Walco. Too many different players around, too many different angles, and he gets 1 more before he falls. But SkinRave, I think, need to call a timeout as soon as they get the guns up, because this T side is not it right now.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough look, right? Because they try to go towards the B site. They don't really have the approach that they wanted. No mid control means that they're kind of just tumbling their way through those tunnels, and there's just too many angles that they need to cover. They don't have the smokes up in a good spot. I mean, they don't have the smokes available in general at that point in the round. And I think for Junior, the fact that he drops that gun gives so much information to Snav that he just turns that corner expecting the player to be there. Made a lot of noise, more than it usually does. I think the gun just slammed into the wall or something. But anyway, let's see what this one delivers. And, well, nothing. Shane may get the ace. Walco's not in the vicinity. And yeah, for only that reason, he does not get it. But it's still a round under Getting Info's belt. They're up 4-1 now. And I think that Junior needs that op. Get him the big green. Marky's going to have it for now. You maybe off positioning? No, that was just, I guess, for a moment they're thinking that he should have had it. But instead they decided to give it right to Junior, which is the right choice.
Yeah, give the op to Junior. Let him do his magic. And see if the individuals can start popping off. Because that's another thing, too. The individuals on SkinRave are just not having the impact they had on the first map. Meanwhile, Shane and Snav are popping off. Dia, another one with the op, too. Marky dead on the entry. And SkinRave, once again, left to just wallow around in their misery for a decent chunk of a round and figure out what they want to do to try and pick up the pieces. Meanwhile, Slum's taking the initiative. laxiee's back is turned, and there is not many opportunities for laxiee to win that fight. In fact, he will fall. Junior now keeping an eye on the cross. Misses a critical shot. That's his first big miss of the evening. Oh, he did.
Is a leg shot, though. Yeah, that was, I mean, I still agree with you. It is a miss, right? For his standards. He should have hit that. Should have been clean. Now Cryptic gets one, traded out immediately. The positioning's not bad for SkinRave. If Walco can slip through the smoke, it'll be okay, but Junior dies, so never mind. Walco, last one alive. Getting tagged down a little bit. Spots out the player in lower. There's just too much utility available here on the side of Getting Info, and they've got the bomb under their control as well.
Well, looks like a 5th round on the board now for Getting Info as things continue to go their way. SkinRave just getting picked off one by one on the entries at these choke points and no real response at all from them. Big miss from Junior too. Somebody so critical to their success in the first map doing nothing. Meanwhile, Dia 4 kills in the round. And he continues to amp up the pressure. His op definitely finding success on Dust2. And for Getting Info, they have a decent Dust2. Their CT side much stronger than their T side, 61 versus 49%. But, John, I'm getting very concerned for the SkinRave team. It looks like you abducted them in the intermission and put somebody else there because there's no comparison between these two sides on map-to-map basis right now.
No, I do agree. It's exceptionally strange. And there's Dia again onto Marky. This is just a half-buy round, but still, I mean, Dia's been that catalyst that Getting Info we're hoping he'd be. Shane, having a peek towards mid. Yeah, I mean, I don't see much happening in this one based upon the results of the previous when guns were in the hands of SkinRave, and it's pretty much just all Getting Info.
This is a round where Getting Info should be able to minimize their casualties, build up a stronger economy. Snav and Carson a little bit low, as even Shane around 2,500 doesn't have a lot of money. As his contact isn't getting any kills, he's still alive and fighting around the edge of the smoke. laxiee, though, eventually falls, and should not be too much longer before Junior and Walco join him in the grave. One more, and Shane will pop out for the last. 6 rounds now for Getting Info, and SkinRave, do they call a timeout here? That is the question. Yes, they do. Okay. Would like to see it right on the last gun round, but better late than never right now.
No, I agree. Like, they need to talk things over because everything is going so badly for them. Credit to, of course, Getting Info, who are really shutting them down. Dia, in particular, living up to his numbers on this map. Shane is contributing with the rifle with 9. And I think everyone's just been fairly solid. There hasn't really been a weakness in the defense. Now, time going to tick away on this timeout. Junior's got the op again. I don't know what they need to adjust here. Maybe take their time a little bit more, not going for those quick fights towards mid or long, because it feels like Dia loves it at this stage. He just continues to engage and find openers, and constantly SkinRave in almost every single one of these rounds are down a man in the first 15 seconds.
Well, Slump's able to dodge the first peek from Junior, and Lower Tons is firmly under the control of getting info. Two players slipping through there. Minimal contact at best. laxiee is aware of the possibility, and he'll try to take the first duel from the looks of things. Marky keeping an eye on the upper push. laxiee, though, walks right into Snav. There goes one. Still wary of the second player, though. Good communication here as laxiee clears out for more.
Wow.
Vert that spray. The crouch saved him there. Crosshair was a little bit high. In the meantime, though, Walco has fallen. Bomb is still out towards top of middle. Shane and Carson grouping up for mid. And SkinRave have a man advantage for the first time in a long time on one of these T rounds, and it comes off the back of a timeout. I think now you're looking for 4 rounds out of this half, I'd think. If they can get 5, even better, but just need a couple more rounds to make this half recoverable in the second of this map.
Yeah, and Junior stats are better on the CT side, so maybe we'll see a stronger performance from him on the op there. But right now, I mean, getting in for the ones that are in control of this map. We'll see if they can strike back here. It's only a man disadvantage for the time being. Junior rocking the op gun gear. One of the nicer op skins available. With the diamond dog hanging from it. I love it. I'm a skin guy, so can appreciate that. I mean, the gloves too. He's got a crazy inventory. Anyway, they're going to move out. It's not about the inventory. It's about the frags now. Carson going to hit the first shot. Can he get the second too? They can't seem to locate him. No way! Carson should have been traded 5 times in that span. And instead, he's the one who gets the shot with the deagle. It's all falling apart for SkinRave. Catastrophic here. Dia misses the util. And look at this, Marky. Well, at least he gets the frags, but time runs out here, Austin. It will still be getting info, winning the round. What happened?
A disaster. A disaster happened. The fact they don't trade out Carson is what begins the downward spiral, and then everybody else getting info just walks in and hits headshots, which also doesn't make the thing any better. But for SkinRave, this is a collapse of pretty epic proportion right now.
Really is.
Everything they were doing right on Mirage, they're not doing on Dust2. And that's the biggest issue. The spacing was perfect on Mirage. The refrags were there. The awareness, the communication, it was all there. And on Dust2, it's all gone to the wayside, gone to the wind. I mean, can you really get that mentally out of it, thinking the series is won after beating your opponent 13-5 on their own map pick? I mean, this is a team that has beaten you once on this map before.
Yeah, and I mean, the half is still recoverable for SkinRave, I would say. You're looking at 7-1. It might look a little daunting right now, but if you win out, it's 7-5. Even if you get 4, it's 8-4. That's something that's more workable. But if they don't find their rhythm soon, this is going to get uglier and uglier. Nice little mid to B execute. It's the first time they've really done it effectively, but Slump gets 2, and that creates problems because look who's still here. Carson continues to be a menace here for getting info. 3v2 in favor of this getting info side. Shane, chases down Junior. Marky, another 1v3. This time he's got time. Just hit the first shot, but not the second. 8-1 for getting info as SkinRave continue to look a little lost here on Dust2.
Yeah, at this point, it just seems like getting info or putting it into cruise control. They got a straight shot on the highway, and they're just taking it all the way home. And it's not even your classic cruise control. It's your adaptive cruise control. They don't even have to worry about slowing down if somebody gets in front of them. So well done from getting info right now. And they're doing everything right. The individuals are here. The re-peaks are here. Multi-kills are coming through. That double from Slump was big. Carson's been an absolute menace. And speaking of Carson, there's another one from him, this one, in this round and in this map. And SkinRave's T side also just is landing flat. Very flat.
Oh, yeah. They don't look like they got much depth to their playbook at this stage, which is weird, again, because they typically are very strong here. But, well, Shane and Slump take care of business. Nothing doing at all. Should be... Oh, Junior hits one head. Have to be careful not to chase him down too hard. Well, it doesn't matter. Snap finds the last 9-1 for getting info. And we may soon be headed to Nuke, where, honestly, if we do get there, Austin, I don't know what to expect.
Chaos, pandemonium.
Perhaps.
That's my guess.
Perhaps. I mean, there's not much data for both of these teams on Nuke, right? And you have like these. Oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh.
That's not good.
No. No. Looks like the replay machine needs a little help.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, I
it's
mean,
going to be a technical pause, that's for sure.
it's similar to the feeling of SkinRave. I guess at this moment, they're probably feeling like they're blue screening.
Oh, yeah.
They're not able to get anything done. But yeah, I mean, we could talk about Nuke for a little bit and then the results that we've seen and why, for me, it's so big of an unknown, because you have these very polarizing score lines, right? Up against the lower tier competition for SkinRave, they're dominating 13-6, 13-1, 13-6. But then you look at Audic and Marsborn matchups, they get dominated. And the same story on Voka. But they have an even smaller sample size, only 3 matches since they switched gears and changed the name. TSG and Mesrea, they won 13-4 and 13-1, again, like tier 3 teams. And then NRG, tier 1, 13-2 loss. So,
Yeah.
you know, there's a disparity between the results it's such a stark contrast that you don't know where they're going to land against each other.
And the way that this series has played out so far also leans into that. Because we see both teams criminally underperforming on their own map picks, and when they're on their opponent's map pick, they are doing absolutely incredible. Yeah. So it's just, what do you expect on Nuke besides either both teams show up or much of the same? And I think it's going to come down to the individuals right now, again, because while it wasn't all the individuals on Mirage for SkinRave, the individuals did a significant amount to push them over the line. Junior in particular, laxiee as well. And here what we're seeing on Dust2 is pretty much everybody on Getting Info or Voka just having good moments. Multi-kills here, 2 kills here, 3 kills there. Good flash support, good trade support, good spacing. And either both teams bring it together on Nuke, or we're just going to end up finding ourselves with, oh my gosh, it's 10-1.
Yep. Players kept playing throughout that technical issue that we were suffering, but yeah, 10
Doesn't look like
to
we missed
1.
much.
What's that?
Doesn't look like we missed much, just
no.
much of the same.
I think pretty much what we were talking about happened again. Slump's looking for fights now. Maybe overconfidence here? Nope, not even. Does get traded. But look where Carson is. He loves to charge up mid, and he'll do exactly that. Already going to dark. Behind enemy lines, they have no clue he's here. He hasn't given them any inkling that he's charged through. Junior's watching it regardless, thinking, okay, maybe they're going to push from from T-spawn. What a shot from Junior. Carson put down to dirt. Not an easy... I mean, usually you're watching to expect the push to come from T-spawn, not necessarily from dark, but man, he makes the adjustment beautifully.
Yeah, great stuff from Junior, which has been missing this entire map. It's a good sign moving forward that he's woken back up again, but they're going to need a little bit more and some more miracles if they want to bring it back on this one. Shane over at the car, though. 1 kill, 2 kills, barely taking damage. He might just run them over from his position. 1 more for Shane. 4 possible. Flashes in. Dodges counter utility for Marky, who's on 4 HP. And Marky's 1 versus 2. Shadow not going to be there. He'll pre-fire Shane, but Dia's there for the trade. 11-1. Monstrosity of a half for Getting Info as we hit into the break.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account or blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say like
11-1 for getting info. After they got wiped out on their map pick, they're trying to do one better on SkinRave's. My goodness. Pistol round underway, and we always talk about the importance of it, but now it's absolutely integral. You don't get this in your SkinRave, you might as well get your strat book out for Nuke. Not a good start. Junior already completely wiped out. That's surprising to me that he's only got 4 frags on the board after, we talked about the stats that he usually puts up on Dust2. Can't do it here. laxiee on a flank. laxiee gets 1, a second. Oh, what the heck just happened? Out of nowhere, an explosion of frags coming through from SkinRave, and it's only Slump left.
It's only Slump, and he will get a dink onto laxiee, and maybe a little bit more. laxiee still backing away. Either way, if Slump pulls this round off with no armor and 43 HP, it would be nothing short of a miracle. 3 players on the other side of mid doors, awaiting him to push on through. They know where he is. He knows where they are, at least one of them. And how much damage can he do before he dies? It's for pride at this point for Slump. And man, he's unlucky not to get Walko there. I thought he had dead to rights. That's a little unlucky.
It is, but at the end of it, would it really have meant much? Probably not. I mean, that round is likely over. I'm just shocked that it all goes so wrong. I want to say that's because laxiee managed to come in on the flank and attract attention, but I don't even think it was that. It was just like a SkinRave that were ready for the fights, that getting info we're trying to take towards mid. It was just a complete collapse, and every shot hit its mark. Dia going to have that scout buy up. We already talked about it. This is what teams like to go for on their T sides if they lose pistol. And now a readjustment for Snav towards long, but everyone else is mid.
Well, there's an easy one for Junior on the MAC-10 from behind. Maybe a couple more to find out middle, and we'll get one more. Pushed on by Carson, able to get the reload off. Carson doesn't push the issue too far forward. Walko helps out for another. Junior with 3, and Snav, the last one standing, dueling out towards long doors, will eventually bite the dust. And so, 2 in a row now for SkinRave, and the real test will now be forthcoming as the guns will come out for getting info. The AKs are coming through. And the scout for Dia here. Can SkinRave weather the storm? Getting info. Move to within 1 of the map and of making it to a 3rd on Nuke.
Yeah, this is a test for the side of SkinRave. Junior on the op CT side, we talked about it, typically better. I mean, I would argue just the first half was way below his performance, even for his T side numbers. And there you go. Junior onto Dia. Finds the opener. A 5v4 for SkinRave, who are trying to recover here on a map that's looked absolutely dire for them.
That's a shot Junior needs to hit, and he does not. Nade goes through to do some chip damage, and spot the player again, but Shane is dodging bullets and hanging out behind Xbox. Dia already down, though, does give a little bit more for SkinRave, as Junior still trying to finish off Shane. He'll pop through the Molotov, though, and that'll be the only damage dealt by the Opper to the Rifler. As long door is going to be tested here. laxiee pops out, spots the bomb, takes some damage. Carson able to slip on through safely. The flash is out.
What is
as
that?
They both run at each other. Carson able to get the kill before he gets sent down.
My God, what a mess. Both players can't find their crosshairs, especially Carson. He thought that laxiee was dead. He's like, "What? Why are you still alive?" Double takes it. I can't really blame him for thinking that, given he was pretty much shoving the gun right into his chest and he wasn't getting the frag. Shane, looking through these long doors. 20 seconds left. This round is already over. I mean, it will be SkinRave taking a 4th. The fact of the matter is, how many guns will Getting Info walk out of it with? Shane actually collects 2. There's only 10 seconds left. He's the last one alive. He can't make it to the bomb site and probably will die. Marky waiting with the MP9 on the other side. Shane anticipating it, which is impressive. Now Marky around these corners needs to be very cautious and won't get the frag. Shane, that is impressive. 3K for him, keeps the AK up. 22 frags on the board.
1 HP for that last one, too. He was a dead man walking, the SMG trying to paper cut him to death, and he stays alive. And so do SkinRave. Shane was a physical embodiment of SkinRave in this half. Except he plays for the other team, and Snav now out with a flashbang, shut down by laxiee. It was a team flash that put him on a white screen for a moment. Should be another round win for SkinRave with relative ease, as there's just an AK and some pistols on the other side. That saved AK from Shane. And I'm starting to get concerned now for Getting Info on this T side. They still have the advantage in terms of individual play.
Yeah.
But these T sides are looking rather thin.
Yeah, there's not much behind them.
No.
Very weird. Well, there go the flashes out. That's not going to do much. Marky and the rest of SkinRave wait on the other side, and it will be a clean sweep. Nothing that Getting Info can accomplish on that, and it was just a half buy. But still, it will be a 5th round secured for SkinRave as they're trying to claw back at one of the hardest deficits to recover from in Counter-Strike. The only thing that gets harder is 12-0. But they could recover. It will require winning out to get a win in regulation, which would be insane. But it's happened before.
It has happened before. There's still a long way to go, but Carson does a lot to try and stymie that. Traded out instantly by laxiee, however. Walco down towards bottom middle. May get tested as Slump begins to probe that direction. A still seems to be the logical course of action for Getting Info, although there's still a lot of time for them to work for picks. And now B tunnels is a move. Marky there to anchor. Walco, though, sprays down Snav. That's a big pick for SkinRave. And a decision has to be made for Getting Info whether or not they want to continue this escapade out middle, which they do. Smokes down, flashes in, out they go. And Walco slips on sight here. Look pocket window, though. Marky, one flashed in by Junior through CT. Now there's Walco's time. Junior pops through. 4 alive for SkinRave, who are coming alive in this CT half of Dust 2.
Hey, look at it this way, right? Getting info did it to you, that means you can do it to them, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. I mean, it's happening. It really is. It's completely flat on the side of getting info, the same way that SkinRave were approaching their T side, and it's just not a good look. Now they're going to go into another half buy. The guns did absolutely nothing. They got lost in mid. The flashbangs were coming through. They're looking the wrong way as they're approaching the B site because they don't really have a safe haven. It's kind of a panicky situation. And now Dia, who was so very good on that first half, is now going to be eliminated first up against Cryptic. 5v4 in favor of SkinRave. Snav looking to accelerate. Junior's watching. There's the op we know and love. Junior gonna collect a couple. And there's the third. Pulls out the Tech 9, try and finish it. But Shane will keep hope alive. Only 8 HP. A bomb plant would be fantastic for them, but he can't even get that done. laxiee will end the round, and SkinRave are just primed for the resurgence now. Only 4 back.
Well, Junior's coming alive, and no better time than now on the CT side. They're starting to generate a little bit more momentum on SkinRave, too. laxiee's popping off. Walco's had some good kills. Marky's solid as well, leading the scoreboard, actually, on the SkinRave team. 14 kills. Nobody close to eclipsing Shane at 23. But SkinRave are looking much more solid, much more concise. The spacing's better, the decision-making's better. Maybe T-side is just snake-bit form, as now they're only 4 rounds away from tying this up, which is an incredibly crazy thought to have at 11-1 half, which you almost never see at this level in an upper bracket final of a Challenger level cup. But here we are, and SkinRave are pulling their way back. Everyone pulling their own weight. Junior flash takes the shot. It's well baited by Shane, who was expecting that. That's an info flash right there. He's not looking for a kill. He's looking to know where the op is. Ooh, that's a kill laxiee needs, though.
Yeah, no, that laxiee definitely should have had that. This could be the round that getting info need to get it across the line. Cryptic right out in the open, an off angle. Now he's fully flashed, but he's still going to hold the space. This is risky. He's spotted. He knows it. Has to fall back. Flashes go over. This is the first time we've seen any real headway from getting info in the entire half.
Still the man advantage for the T side and a lot of control up long, but there's one for Marky. Carson up on the ramp. Slump's going to get Cryptic from behind, though, and now the split begins to show its teeth and sink into SkinRave here. 2 rounds again needed for getting info or Voca, as they're listed on HLTV to finish this one off. Junior and no-scope, but Dia has one. Marky trades out. It's a 2 versus 2. No bomb plant down. Slump's got one, big one, and 2. Slump saves the day. And getting info move within 1 round of victory here on Dust 2. And finally shipping us off to Nuke.
Wow, that's unbelievable. What a nice round finally coming through from getting info, but it's more about the individuals than it is necessarily about the strategy, which doesn't surprise us given the way these two teams have looked on their T sides. And now you have 5 opportunities for getting info to push us to map 3 of Nuke. Flashbang's going to get tossed for long. SkinRave, ooh boy, laxiee's on notice here, and there he falls. Snap the opener. It feels like getting info. I've had enough.
Getting info finally pushing this across the line. Took them a while, but they got the ball rolling on the T side. Opening pick again here. And SkinRave looking for a way back in. Very slow, methodical play out long from getting info. They're playing the long game. And Cryptic might just bite. He's pushing up aggressively up catwalk. Snav's keeping an eye on the backside of things. There's a lurking Shane over towards B. And getting info, we're trying to push SkinRave into making a play, which has not come. They're going to have to fight their way through if they want to win this round.
40 seconds left. Waiting to see the move that Getting Info is going to make. No way they will be, right? They're dead. Cryptic cut them off. That's the bomb, man. Probably the round. What a misplay. I can't believe that comes through. Even if they kill Cryptic here, they don't have time. Dia gets one. Traded out by Marky. Snav finds another. It's only one player left on the side of SkinRave. Oh, actually, there is time potentially to plant the bomb at A. It's going to be very, very close. Will they get there? No, they don't. It's done. I think.
There's no way. No way.
That's like the last half second or even a quarter of a second left in the round.
That's in the decimals.
Unreal stuff.
It's in the tenths or hundredths of a second to seal the deal. How do they get the bomb down in time?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a syncing issue between GoTV versus the server itself in that case, because I'm surprised they had the opportunity. Just a very clean jump maybe towards the site. Whatever the case may be, it felt like it was leaning Getting Info already with that 11-1 half, and in the end, it will be done 13-7 as Getting Info steal away for SkinRave.
No, they also didn't play the best tactically. They had a lot of bad spacings and didn't exactly have anything deep in the strat book when it came to the T side. The CT side was a little bit better, and the individuals definitely woke up a lot more on the defensive end. But it seemed that both teams struggled when they started on the T side significantly, and it was the bulk of those CT halves which carried each team over to victory on the subsequent. So I think it really does depend on if you can start out strong in this first half, and it is Getting Info who get that CT start. So if the trend continues, they should have the heavy advantage starting on the defense, as SkinRave move a little bit aggressively outside with the smoke down over on top of Mini. Carson's walled off, and first contact goes the way of laxiee. He'll drop Slump as well as Slump falls down the ladder. Great couple of early picks for laxiee, and this is the best SkinRave has looked in about a map and a half.
Yeah, no question. But can they keep it up is the other question, and Snav says no, they can't. laxiee and Walco flanked out. Marky finds Snav, trying to finish him off and stop his killing spree, and he will. Marky hands the man advantage back to his squad. Bomb still playing towards outside, and oh no, Cryptic is lost. Excuse me, not towards outside, towards ramp, and Shane is going to catch him.
He won't catch the bomb, but it's going to move over towards the A side now. Noise will definitely be heard. Shane's already rotating up. Carson will join him. I don't see a kit down, though, and that's a problem. Although it's not a problem just yet. 10-second defuse will become a factor here in about 20 seconds. Marky and Junior left to hold. Raid boss for Junior, armor in that P250. Shane spotted. Carson on the flank outside. Junior has an idea it could be coming, but the dualies in close range could be so deadly. They're spraying, they're praying, but it's Junior and Marky to finish the job. 1-0 for SkinRave. Their first pistol round win since the last half, but the first one that actually has a lot of weight since the first map.
Yeah, no question. laxiee did such good work, and I'm impressed with Snav that he's able to pull back a couple before Marky trades him out. I even thought he was going to get Marky too with the way things were trending. Anyway, SkinRave get that early round victory that was very lacking over on Dust2. Like, they didn't get anything. It was a complete blowout pretty much from start to finish on that first half of action in favor of Getting Info. Now SkinRave will have to deal with the force by the Getting Info's bringing their way. Marky spamming through the smoke, not connecting on anything, but making a lot of noise as laxiee is going to creep his way down secret.
laxiee might be able to do some serious damage here, but Snav is in the vicinity, ready to shut this down. SMG out up close and personal, but we've seen laxiee do some pretty good things with the AK in hand. And he might just back out and join up with the A-take, as it seems to be pretty committed here from SkinRave, although the smoke towards Squeaky will wall that off. SkinRave looking a little undecisive with where they want to go. Still seeming to lean towards A. The options are there to fall off and go elsewhere. But there's 4 players here. Dia gets the opener, slumps right around. laxie's activating, but Cryptic deals the damage instead. Fast flank from Carson will be heard. They have to know, but Snav's pushed through. Time winding down. Big from laxiee. Carson 1 versus 1 against Junior now, as he knows exactly where his enemy's coming from, but his low health will be his undoing. And SkinRave escape with a second round on the board, but one which very easily could have gone the way of Getting Info or Voka, despite the far weaker weaponry.
It's very concerning how down to the wire these rounds have been. Great fights coming through on the Getting Info side, but the force buy doesn't yield the results, aside from getting it down to a 1v1. It got close. And well, when it gets close like that and you know the other team is going down to their last dollar in a lot of cases, you might want to force up again, and that is exactly the call that Getting Info makes. 4 MP9s in the Scout. laxiee, who honestly activated maybe a little late for my liking from Mini, didn't have any impact towards the players that were going to Squeaky, but luckily for SkinRave, Cryptic was good for, I believe, a 3k in that instance. Dia moves through, and laxiee is on the other end, spotting out that player. He knows that slump is there. He doesn't care. He's going to keep his pathing down towards that B bomb site, or at least into secret for now.
Marky making a little bit of contact, forced away by the smoke as his teammates activate elsewhere on the outer yard. Dia looking for a scout tag, will fall away. As SkinRave continue their aggressive tendencies. If you've watched Carson, if you've watched Snav, if you've watched Shane in the past, this kind of an aggressive play is not a surprise out of the SkinRave side. And the fact that it's an economic pendulum, which can easily swing back in their favor right now, doesn't hurt that fact. Slump down to the vent. Snav with another one on the MP9. Snav doubles down from single door, decontaminating the lower tunnels as the last 2 SkinRave players pop towards A with no bomb, no rifles. All the rifles went lower. All the SMGs went upper. And it's up to Marky now to save this ship. It's a nigh flawless round for SkinRave, or for Getting Info rather. And SkinRave, oh, that's a disaster round.
We've seen a lot of those, and unfortunately for them, pretty much every round to this point hasn't been clean, and this is the worst of it. With Marky surviving on the MAC-10, he's got the armor, the smoke. They might force up here. I would imagine so. Given that this is the first loss, yeah, they're going to go for it. But that was tough to watch.
Oh, yeah. Just caught off by the SMGs around the corner. They didn't really use utility to clear the angles either. That's the biggest problem. They're just taking dry fights, mid-range, close range against an MP9. Yeah, you might have an AK, but the MP9 is an incredibly powerful gun. And they're going to go for something fast here. I like this kind of idea from SkinRave right now. Go for something speedy. They get the bomb down the vents. A couple players drop on down. Marky's lurking with that MAC-10 up in towards Hut. And Cryptic and Marky are going to get a couple of kills. Cryptic got the entry on the B site. Marky gets the player back silo. And that creates a lot of space and confusion for SkinRave to capitalize on, as the bomb will be planted down on lower. Might be a safe idea here from Getting Info right now. There's not a great chance for a retake. You know, at least there's some guns up.
Yeah.
And your money's not great. This isn't the one you have to force.
No, I agree. And not to mention 3 AKs. There's so much value in these rifles. So you just say, all right, well, they got this one away from us. Oh, Marky gets a freebie. No, he can't find it. That is so unfortunate. Could have grabbed an AK, or at least wrenched an AK out of the hands of Getting Info. Well, eventually he will, because Snap dies to the bomb off that damage. But they still keep a couple going. SkinRave, for their sakes, secure a third and isolate the round victory on the Getting Info side.
Well, SkinRave keeping their heads above water, keeping pace and keeping their lead, but Getting Info are nipping on their heels, keeping close to their opposition. I know it is CT side nuke, and you definitely want to be winning your half, but it seems like it's been a case of, oh, so close and yet so far for Getting Info, rather than them just being completely outplayed in these rounds. getting a little bit unlucky, and if that can change back to their favor, it definitely can go the rest of their way for the rest of this half. It's still a little early on in the half, and now this is exactly the kind of luck they need. They get the spots, the smoke. Can they find somebody through? They get a lot of damage. There's the kill. That is something that can turn the tide here for getting info. Slump doubles up. He's been coming alive for the last couple of maps with critical multi-kills, usually doubles. But that's a big one to get a double man advantage into this round and really put the brakes on what SkinRave were thinking of trying.
When Slump first switched to the rifle here, I actually saw him on Nuke with this getting info squad playing towards outside, and he had a heck of a map. Unbelievable contribution. Looked like he was born to be a rifler in that moment. Certainly we've seen a lot of the floor of his play, more than the ceiling as of late, but it's good to see him start to get going here on map number 3. Snav will find Walco. Shane gets Marky, and this is all getting info now. Should be a second for them unless Junior goes absolutely nuclear. And he won't.
Well, that's more like it from getting info, more like what we saw on Dust2. And for SkinRave, they were scraping by, but the getting info, the Voco round victories are so confident and so clean. Getting info definitely looking like the far superior team right now.
Yeah. Scoreline's
especially if you put Mirage in a vacuum.
Yep. No, I agree. I feel like getting info, despite being down around, have looked sharper. So the concerns arise again for getting in, not for getting in for SkinRave. Cryptic will lose the fight immediately. I like the gusto, but Slump shuts him down towards outside. Carson, nade in hand. A timely toss here could do a ton of damage. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Everyone gets connected on. This half buy yields absolutely nothing, and it'll be tied up at 3.
Tied up at 3, another confident round victory for getting info, minimizing their casualties. Only 1 death in the last 2 rounds. Very good for the economy. And the CT side able to stabilize more and more. Dia, of course, with that op, can look to continue his prowess from Dust2. And it's going to be a Glock round from SkinRave. A round which they have a very, very low percentage to win. I'm not going to get into specific numbers because I'm not sure you really can't make a tangible, accurate prediction of the chances of a Glock round. But it's very low. Oh, there's a deagle for Junior. That doesn't change the scales much. Should be a getting info round.
Yeah, getting info. Oh, Junior, can you get this? No, he misses a couple of shots, and eventually, the opportunities are going to run out. Lucky to be alive, in fact. And okay, Marky with the Glock finishes off Slump. He just opened up that squeaky door, and now they could drop down towards Mini and continue to be a bit of a menace here. Snav will get 2. Shane supports him with the frag on Marky, and there you go. The nade finishes the job. Dia dunking on Junior, and it is going to be a getting info lead.
Well, it's not the cleanest of anti-ecos if you are getting info, but it gets the job done. They only lose 2, and so their economy still strong. 3 players lost in 3 rounds. They will take that. And now the guns are back for SkinRave, but the problem is they have 3 Galils. Their utility is strong, but their firepower not so much, and there are helmets on every single member of the getting info CT side. So the Galil will not one-shot, headshot anybody. And there's a player lacking a helmet. That's Cryptic, one of the AKs. So he's vulnerable to the M4s of getting info. And, well, the first player down. Snav with 1, traded out. Shane there to trade. Slump chimes in outer yard. Shane still around the A site with the fire around. In the open, catches Junior walking out of hut. And goodness gracious, getting info have turned it up, and they are cooking with some premium gas right now, making a meal out of SkinRave.
Shane, smoke thrown in towards Squeaky. Excuse me. Yeah, Squeaky. I was right the first time.
You were right. Don't doubt yourself, John.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm running on fumes. It's been a long day. The Walco 1v4 clutch required. 50 seconds on the clock, and Carson will end him. 5-3 in favor of getting info. And I mean, just nothing going SkinRave's way. I was saying, I already said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, they have not looked good despite having 3 rounds on the board. It has been getting info who kind of feel like they made maybe a couple of mistakes in certain instances, but overall have looked like the more tightly knit team here in the early goings of Nuke. And obviously, it's a CG-sided map, so we have to keep that in mind. But even with that factored in, I feel like SkinRave are in a bit of trouble.
SkinRave are in a whole world of trouble, especially if they can't find any way to get the individuals activated. Junior again towards the bottom of the scoreboard, 2-6 right now. laxie's doing all right, Cryptic's okay, but there just hasn't been enough consistency from the SkinRave side, and they're just going to run through fire, all the information given over, and Snav should be good for at least 1, if not 2 or 3, holding down with the M4A4, the right weapon for this kind of an angle versus the A1S. Do really like how the A4 and the A1S are both purchasable on the CT side now at the same time.
Yes.
Very, very well done. QOL update.
Do you agree? I would like to be able to buy all the guns, though.
Yeah, me too.
That would be nicer.
Although I don't mind not having to put the M249 on there.
Yeah, I guess. I just like some of these guns just never get any usage, and the M249 needs to be changed somehow.
Yeah.
Like, why have they not addressed this yet?
And
It's
again,
so
it's so much
expensive. Yeah. Anyway, what else has to change here is SkinRave's fortunes, and I don't know if it will. It's maybe over soon, at least the round, and yeah, it's done. Another clean sweep for getting info.
Yeah, nice shot there from Carson at the end. Slumping Carson, locking down that B site. No way through for SkinRave on the half-buy. They'll be back on the guns, though, here. AKs around. Utility is there. No timeout called yet, as it's been 5 in a row for getting info. 3-1 start for SkinRave that has evaporated into the ether. And almost into the forgotten reaches of my memory, as everything has been going getting info's way since the start of the map, aside from the pistol round. Even then, it was a lot closer than it probably should have been, and despite losing 3 rounds, getting info have been in control of pretty much every single one of those. Nice one from Diaz, he slips into the secret stairwell. First casualty is Cryptic, and Walco's tagged down low to 12 HP. Things continuing to look grim for SkinRave on this T side. And that does not make it better.
I think grim is an understatement. I think they've already dug the graves and they're sitting in them trying to climb out. It's bad.
So
SkinRave.
SkinRave made them dig their own grave? Or getting info, rather? Made them dig their own graves?
Pretty much, yes. It's been that bad for them. Junior, laxiee, and Walco's still alive. And I mean, Walco's gained a lot of space. Maybe Carson falls, but even then, I don't know. Carson's aware of the possibility. Back and forth. It's all about timing. If Walco gets the timing, then maybe Carson falls, but he's continually shifting his attention back and forth between ramp and hell. And you see now, 35 seconds left. I mean, Walco must get something at this stage. Otherwise, the round is done. And he won't.
It's death.
Yep. And so does Junior and laxiee. Round over. And another round where, you know, on the side of getting info, they don't lose a single body.
Yeah, they've been so good in these last 2 maps at winning rounds and keeping players alive. It's almost uncanny how good they are at winning in such a dominant fashion. There doesn't seem to be any stopping them either. And another anti-half-buy should not be that much of a test for them. It's potential for a 9-3 half on the CT side after losing 3 of the first 4.
That's the craziest part.
Yeah. Great stuff from getting info. Not the same for SkinRave if you ignore Mirage, which I think we should. Mirage looking more like an anomaly than anything else. As the flash is in, the players are out on the A side. There's a chance here, especially with Snap falling down to Cryptic up close, but Shane able to rain things in from heaven. Molotov's in, but slump over in mini, making light work of laxiee through that smoke. Bomb plant is here, small consolation, unless they can hold things down. I don't believe that gun is too recoverable either. Start looking for it. It's not been found. Junior over towards Hell, spots out Carson, but Dia is around the corner as well. Duel Beretta's out, are gonna win the duel. A little bit messy, but Marky, big one on the saved AK. Dia, AK up. Flash goes in, time running out here for getting info. Big pick from Dia, though. They know where the last one is. As Shane walks out onto site, it's planted perfectly. He has the Molotov. That will go through and deep enough, unless Marky wants to push. Shane's got a hold. Marky goes in. He'll peek through, get the kill before he falls to steal away a fourth for SkinRave.
Wow, what a play from Marky to help them get at least a round on the board. They call a timeout immediately on the side of SkinRave. But you know what's great about that for SkinRave is they just simplified things. They said, you know what, we've got the technology. This is something that's great about pistol rounds, right? Those half-buy situations, because you're forced to go for simpler plays in some instances, and sometimes that's the answer, right? Because you keep trying to overthink things. You're going for these, you know, more complex strategies where you have multiple pieces activating across the map. Instead, you bring it down to the basics. Go right into the A site, charge into HUD, throw your util out, and hope that things start to swing your way. And that's exactly what happens there for SkinRave. Sure, there's a back and forth, ends up in a 1v1, but Marky was good for it. And now you have a fourth round on the board. Could have been a 9-3, and all of a sudden, there's life that's being breathed into you.
Yeah, it's some new life, and I do like the counter timeout here from getting info. Just to kind of talk things over as well, because every single round they have lost has been close, and it has been one that easily could have swung back their direction. For SkinRave, your rounds have really come off of chaos instead of order.
Yeah.
And not really rounds you can replicate on demand, which is a big problem. It's not replicable, and it does not breed confidence in the future of this T side. But luckily for SkinRave, their CT side's up next, and that might be where they can build something back into this map, especially if they can get it to a 7-5.
Yeah, the CT round win percentages have been ridiculous for SkinRave in comparison to their T side. So actually 5 rounds would be really good if they can get to that mark. Junior waiting with the AWP. Holding the line, expecting pushes. That doesn't happen. Carson spotted out, but he doesn't get a clean shot. I think it was through the wall, so Carson survives with 22 HP. 129 on the clock, still plenty for SkinRave to work with. Smoke break goes through. laxiee sees that. But as it stands, neither team has made much headway, aside from a decent amount of damage done by SkinRave towards Dia, and in particular Carson, who we already talked about, got tagged by the op.
Well, Slump going down. He's been critical for the getting info successes. He will have no more impact in this round. And the first pick goes the way of laxiee and SkinRave. There's Carson, though. He can end it all. Utility goes in. Backs away. Able to get out alive. Has help, too. Shane, though. One big one. Goes for more. And he's got a second. Marky trying to go back forward. Dia has one more. Marky doubled up and traded down.
That's a bomb.
Picking a 1 versus 2. The bomb down as well. Shane's on the angle. Nice shot. But he gets dinked. That's the problem.
Yeah. Dia? Dia's gonna end it here. It will be 8-4 in favor of getting info. A fairly strong CT side as we head to the break. Alrighty, we're back here, ready for the second half of play. Getting involved, built themselves a nice lead on their CT side, but now SkinRave are the ones who may reap the benefits of this CT side of Nuke. They've been very strong statistically. Let's see if that translates to a comeback here. Cryptic will get the first on the slump. Shane and the rest of Getting Info are trying to overload this A site, but it's just not working for the time being. They are going to go back and forth and make this a 3v3, and in fact, this looks like a bomb plant.
Yeah, Shane's second kill opens up the space for that plant. The smoke still up allows the T's to reposition and forces SkinRave to get ready for a retake. They do have the flash for Junior, though. That is the game changer. Don't see it kit, though, so it's going to be a 10-second defuse if it does come down to it. Flash goes in. They take too long. Dink comes in, but that's a big entry from Cryptic. Shane around, falls to Cryptic, too. It's up to D, and he gets nothing. SkinRave, both pistol rounds, but the bomb plant does come through. That will allow Getting Info to get a nice buy-up on the second round. A couple Galils, some SMGs. Dangerous on a map like Nuke. We'll see what they want to opt for in the second round of the half, but both pistol rounds for SkinRave should give them a prime advantage to take this series.
Certainly. Their CT side is a lot more potent than their attacking end, and I mean, I think that's pretty much been the case for both squads throughout a lot of this one. I mean, since the second map anyway. And we go on. Carson. Smoke and flash going to get tossed. It is a force by for Getting Info. You honestly can't count them out of this one. SkinRave need to be wary of how potent Getting Info could be. And I feel like Getting Info at their ceiling, there are very few North American teams this level that can touch them. So, you know, if they continue to find their rhythm on T side, I don't know if SkinRave will be able to take care of business. But Walco at least finds Snav.
That's a good start for SkinRave. And for Walco, too, get himself back on the board. It's been a while since he's got a kill in the kill him. Marky backs away because of the fire. Slump around the corner on the stairs. Taps away, does some good damage. Marky still alive for now. Carson popping in towards the V site through the choke point. Cryptic around with the MP9 in a good spot to hold, but he takes a dink. Flames force him further forward, and Carson able to get the one. Shane out now. Deal with another. Oh no, SkinRave are falling. It's looking like a repeat of that second round of the first half, John, where the force buy worked. laxiee domed by Shane. That was the chance for SkinRave here. The bomb's actually not yet planted, which a bit of an oversight here. But a 1 versus 3 for Walco with no kit, chances are not good.
No, not at all. Walco, I expect him to likely fade away. No, he wants to go for this. I mean, saving the FAMAS will help with the force buy in the next. But yeah, nothing doing. Nothing at all. Slump takes care of that. And it is immediately a response from Getting Info. They go up 9-5. And you see on the side of SkinRave, even a force buy won't give them that much. But you know what? I guess they don't see another option in their minds, being down by 4 rounds and then facing down the prospect of double digits for Getting Info. They're sending it. The problem with this is that if you lose this round, you are on an eco, and it's probably 11 for Getting Info. Flashbang gonna get tossed. Yeah, go ahead.
At which point it is almost unwinnable.
Yep. Indeed. 135 on that clock. Cryptic on top of credit card. Oh boy. Spots out Carson. And you see Carson's going up for the high ground. I like the maneuvering from him. And eventually, looks like he'll collect that. The nade? Yes? No. Still, Cryptic survives. We sit at a 5v5.
Good amount of information gained there by Carson. Gets a lot of damage onto Cryptic. He knows there's 2 players out or yard. So all in all, not a terrible occurrence. Slow and steady for Getting Info as they congregate in lobby. Hanging around the old water cooler and Carson now up on top of Lobby, will do a little bit of damage. Gets helped out by Dia, who joins him up the ladder. Walco now getting a little thirsty, pushing into vending machine. Takes a peek, catches the timing on Shane, who turns away at the worst possible moment. Walco grabs the upgrade, but he's forced into the corner by the flames. A nade into his position, chunks him down below half. As Slump and company enter in on towards the A site. 1-for-1 trade. Dia sprays down laxiee, trades to the AK. Scout for Junior, misses its first try. Looking for Tag him and bag him. They're all low. Junior only one as he's run down by Carson, putting low Walco in half HP in a one-shot 1 versus 2.
Man.
He does not have a nade. He narrowly misses the spray.
Wow.
And it all comes down to this. A combined 11 HP. For Carson and Dia. I do like Carson tucking up close. Allows Dia to go for the trade around the silo if required. Carson peeks, Dia peeks, but they're too far apart, and Walco hits them both. He's given the duels, and he punishes them thoroughly. What a play by Walco.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's SkinRave's forced by working out, and as often happens on Nuke, we're in the forced by wars, and Walco adding a little bit of spicy BM to the mix at the end there, as it will be. Look, it's a beautiful clutch, and the better part about it is that it doesn't even matter that the players are low. He hits the headshots perfectly with that AK. 6-9. And a timeout called by getting into. We can't be happy that things are going back and forth like that. I mean, they had the advantage in terms of the firepower, and it's just ripped away from them. Now they'll have to take some time to talk things over.
Yeah, better to take the time now than to wait a little bit too long and then find yourselves on the outside looking in. But for SkinRave, that's an extra lifeline they desperately needed. And a lifeline that might just find them a way back into this series. They won the first map, got bullied on the second, and it has not been ideal for them here on the third. But there is that chance, that lifeline. It's there. And I do like how getting info are not going to go all in here, John. They're going to go for the half buy instead. Hero rifle on Dia, but he still has enough to reinvest. They don't necessarily need to go for the op on this T side anyways, and try and return the favor with the pistols while still maintaining some sort of residual bank accounts. Or no flash?
Wow, that's crazy. No flash at all. They just walk in. Hey, it works out. At least so far. 3v3. Tech9's delivering a couple of frags. Cryptic trying to hide in the smoke. They know he's hovering in this vicinity. And now through from Mini, Junior will collect Cryptic as well. It's all down to Snav, and he's overwhelmed by a hailstorm of bullets. It will be SkinRave with 2 in a row, a 7th on the board, and they refuse to say die here on Nuke.
Oh, man. It was the right play, the right idea for getting info, but the execution just comes up short. And the lack of a flash on the entry, I think, is one of the biggest issues, because their players are taking dry fights, get caught out in the open without the ability to really take the space fully. And instead of having the trades out, they could have had a 1-for-2, or instead of losing that first player out of hut, gotten the opening pick and then been able to scale forward more successfully. So for SkinRave, good idea, just could have been tightened up a little bit more, and they're going to go all in with the AKs here, but their utility is sorely lacking. Only 2 flashbangs left with a $143 to go in the round, so a lot of time still left on the clock and not a lot of utility left for the T's. And only 2 rounds separating these two teams, allowing for potential comeback territory. I don't know how Carson gets that kill. That is ludicrous. And Marky 2 on a run as they funnel out into his position. And he got a lot of damage onto the third as well. Heroic stand from Marky that turns the tide back to the favor of SkinRave.
That's unbelievable. Unreasonable even when Carson gets that shot. Just felt like he didn't have the momentum to find it, but he does. Then Snav catches out laxiee. This is crazy back and forth Counter-Strike. 3v2 in favor of getting info. Carson cannot collect onto Walco. Walco looks the wrong way.
He would have
Junior. I mean, he should have known. Yeah, I agree. That's very strange. Junior, last one available, 1v2 clutch. Very winnable because of the HP here on the side of getting info. The problem is he has no utility, so just going to fake the defusal and hope they open the door. Dia's going to do that. Nice headshot, great crosshair placement, fakes it again, but doesn't expect the player to be in the same spot. Carson has the advantage, and Time's going to run under the bomb. Junior has to stick it. There's really no choice. Trying to win the duel, gets it, but it doesn't matter anyway, because the round is over. Junior should survive the bomb, gets caught in the wall a little bit, but that doesn't matter. He's got plenty of health. 10th round found for getting info, but it was not easy.
No, one of their most difficult rounds to win in this entire map. And it comes down to the wire as Junior's so close and yet so far. Well played in the end by getting info to hold things down in the clutch. And Marky's the only reason that was even somewhat winnable for SkinRave. So they have a lot to owe to Marky, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. It doesn't work in terms of winning Counter-Strike matches. The op is out for Junior. This buy is wacky and weird. The MP9's on two. A FAMAS for Walco. The AK saved for Cryptic, tossed over to him from Junior. And there's four Galils on the other side of things. Junior and Cryptic with the opening two. And this opening salvo puts SkinRave back into pole position to finish off this round and cut the deficit back down to 2 rounds, as this third map is gearing up to be wild. But Junior strikes out swinging on Slump. And that's space given down on the lower sight. And getting info with time on the clock can really work this and find a way back in to try and level this before the bomb goes down.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just a really great reaction from getting info, just to activate immediately into ramp as soon as they lose those 2 players. And I mean, the space was available to them. They get rid of Junior. Now they're in a post-plant situation, still have a little bit of util available, mostly flashes, 3 of them, but an incendiary, a Molotov available for Slump. So if they can burn down enough time, he'll toss that Molotov onto the bomb, make it impossible for SkinRave to get the defusal. Incendiary flies in towards Dark. Shane flushed out, but he still gets one. Finally, Marky and Cryptic collapse onto the site. Slump doing his best, but it's not enough, as SkinRave will pull off an 8th. I think. Yes. They have the kit. They're good.
Oh, that was too close for comfort. Well, SkinRave stay alive again. They are finding ways to win these rounds and getting info. Again, coming close, but yet too far from winning rounds. Back on the half by 2, which is not a good thing for the T side. It's going to allow SkinRave to get within 1, as this third map looks to be going the distance. Glocks, and only Glocks. And SkinRave should be able to handle this relatively cleanly, although we did say that about the SkinRave Glock round earlier on in the last half, or at least I did, and they got 2 kills out of it, so can never discount any round in Counter-Strike.
Certainly. That's what's great about it. Marky spamming through the smoke, 1:20 on the clock. Does feel that SkinRave are hitting that necessary gear on their CT side to make this one interesting. Missed shot from Junior. Again, that one was a little easier to connect on, so he's probably going to want that one back. It won't matter too much in this round, at least you hope, for the sake of SkinRave anyway. Finally does connect on the more difficult one, then pulls up the pistol and says, that's enough of the sniper rifle. Let's just try and end this on the low armored players. And there it is. 9th round for SkinRave. They are flawless in it.
Flawless, looking fantastic. Clawing their way back into this one, looking for a tie here in round number 20. Galil's again on 3 for getting info. Utility a little bit more substantial than it was 2 rounds ago. And a timeout called. I believe this is their 3rd and final as well. It's at least their 2nd.
Yeah.
It's good to see this team using all their timeouts.
For sure. I mean, it's all in the past, they would just kind of send it repeatedly, but they've certainly added another layer of strategy to them. And I've been talking about this as well as a reason why they've had so much more success lately, because they just feel like they are caring more about actually thinking things through rather than just going for those balls to the wall plays and being a less serious team, because they've taken that step above. And I don't know if it's because Dia was added in and Slump is here now versus Dare, in the past, but whatever the case may be, it's a welcome change.
It is a welcome change, and it's showing some maturity on this team as well, which is a great sign, especially if they want to push forward and try and make it to the top of the ranks in North America and make that jump across the pond to the international side of things, like we've seen M80 do. And that's a nice skeet shot from Junior as Carson gets caught hopping off a silo. laxiee up close. Shane's gone down in the tie ball game, looking more and more likely with every kill. Slump's messy spray does find laxiee. No return frag or damage there. Walco in second vents, flamed out of position, and he is killed as well. Up in heaven, two are spotted. But here's the thing, though. Cryptic's in the vents. They don't know where he's. What a shot by Slump. That is ludicrous on Marky. And Dia now has found his way down to the B site. Snav's there with him. And the bomb is going lower. No recourse here for SkinRave unless Cryptic can do it all alone. He got the bomb plant. And no refrag. Dia grabs it in that smoke. They know where Cryptic is. His teammate's fallen. It's up to the Opera on 32 HP. He got the dink, but not the kill. And Junior's making his way downtown. Walking fast. Faces pass. And he's trying to be homebound.
Honestly, I can't believe that SkinRave were able to recover here. It felt like Getting Info had done everything right. They get some beautiful frags towards A. Diaz, he's going to miss out on getting this bomb, or preventing the bomb from being defused. Junior finds it. Dia will get one and the second, so money, I guess, but the round falls the way of SkinRave. And speaking of money, they have plenty of it. They're going to rebuy comfortably. We are going potentially the distance on a map that felt like it was in control for Getting Info. We already talked about the CT sidedness of it. I honestly felt like it didn't really matter that they were on their CT side with the cohesion that we saw from Getting Info. But I guess perhaps there was more of an element than I anticipated, as now SkinRave are the ones who really look like they're in control.
And it looks like they're going to try to go fast out A as well. Ready for the lobby pop. The hut push. Walco, Flame ready to toss down onto the ground. laxiee over towards second vents. Moves out of the easily Molotov position. Walco holds tall for one, but he's caught by Dia. Not expecting a second man out of hut. That's a miscommunication there, but here comes laxiee, two on the spray down. As the two remaining players for Getting Info wounded, hemorrhaging, and outgunned, outmanned. 2 versus 4, 1 versus 4. laxiee looking for the fourth, but it's Cryptic to take him. As SkinRave take a lead they have not had since early on in this first half. A 3-2 scoreline back in the day. I have to ask, though, going back 2 rounds ago, instead of smoking the bomb plant, smoking double door might have changed the course of action and saved the round for Getting Info.
Without a doubt. Yeah, that was perhaps the misplay for Getting Info in that moment. They still have a chance to recover, though. In that previous one, it was more of a half investment with the Tech 9s going through. This time, they've got the AK-47s, the AWP, and, well, one Galil, but still, this is a potent buy-up for Getting Info. Let's see what they can do with it. Dia holding the line with the op. Nice flashbang. Perfect from Junior. And it leads to an instant frag. Carson erased. 5v4 just like that for SkinRave. And they'll fade back into the shadows. Snav looking towards Secret. Pulls out his knife. Walks through the smoke. This is a dangerous approach, and that's why Junior breaks it open and shoots Snav right in the chest, getting him down to the ground. Cryptic's waiting. They keep gray screening themselves. Oh my goodness. A 5v2 briefly. Slump gets one back, but he's stuck in the open. Dia actually manages to get one as well. It's crazy, Austin. The way things have gone back and forth in terms of man advantages, in this case, a 3-man edge, is beyond my understanding in some cases, but at least it feels like SkinRave are going to continue with that man edge.
Yeah, and it's a double man advantage now with Dia, the last man standing with the op in hand. Not exactly the gun you want to clutch up with. And Junior has woken up. Cryptic actually top of the scoreboard for SkinRave. And one thing, if you haven't watched Cryptic over the years, for those of you watching, if Cryptic's top of the table on his team is either going to win or they're going to get blown out. There's no in between. Because either he's clicking and everyone's clicking, or he's the only one there. He's a very streaky individual and has a very high skill ceiling for an in-game leader.
Yes. I think one of the highest in North America, honestly. And that's why I'm so interested in his career and the trajectory of it, because of that, because he can frag out with the best of them. And also some really brilliant calling. I mean, I don't know if we necessarily saw as much as we'd like to here on the T side of both of the two previous, of this map and the previous one. But at the same time, I know he has that level in him. And I'm very excited to see him continue to move forward, and of course make it to that grand final would be fun. But for getting info on their side, also, as I mentioned, this is a exciting team in terms of all the individuals. Any one of them can pull around back in their favor. So we'll see if that's the case here. They're going to have to take 2 rounds in a row just to push it into overtime.
Right now, they've got the early damage duel won, but it's 5 alive on all sides right now. Carson spots out Junior, who will not take the shot, interestingly enough. And so, we wait for more. Junior still holding, still watching. Nobody there. Slow, methodical round from getting info. It's all on the line for them, or they go back down to fight against Marsborn tomorrow night in an elimination matchup. And Marsborn looked a little squishy against Mythic, so there might be something there for getting info.
It looked better, though, yesterday, I'll tell you.
Well, that's a good thing for Marsborn, as they're a team that has major aspirations at Junior. That's a brilliant shot on Dia, his comrade, or his opponent, his rival. Removed. Man advantage again for SkinRave. Or for getting info, rather.
That's right.
No, it is SkinRave.
No, it's SkinRave. Yeah, you got it. Junior's going to head another shot on to Shane. 5v3. Getting info. Only have 3 bodies left to stay alive in this series. Carson will find one back, but they need more than that. Bomb going to get planted. Junior on notice at 2 HP. Marky flanked out by Carson. That is so bad now for SkinRave. A 5v3 has evaporated, and now the bomb is taking away. Junior doesn't have the health for an extended engagement, needs to pop out, get one, and get back into cover before they can trade him, which is easier said than done. Walco out, and Walco and laxiee do the work. They don't let Junior, don't put it all on Junior, and now laxiee will get the last snab. A 2K, but that is not enough. Is there time for the defusal is the question. laxiee? He's got it. There it is, 13-10 in favor of SkinRave as they close out the map and the series and send SkinRave packing for the lower bracket.
Back to Marsborn, go getting info in SkinRave in their first actual best of 3 of this cup. Take it in dramatic fashion. Destroy